Hey guys, welcome to my big red chair. Oh man, this just turned into Blue's Clues, didn't it? Dang it! Mail time! Where's Blue? I freaked out a little bit, now I'm over it. So, my name is Rebecca, I'm 25 years old. This past August, my husband and I had a little girl, and we're very excited, and we love her so much, and she's so cool, and she's like my new best friend. We had her in a little bit of an unconventional way. She was a preemie baby. She was born at 34 weeks, and I actually had to get an induced labor, induced on Pitocin. I was actually put on 3 weeks of bed rest in the hospital. I sprung a leak, ladies. I done sprung a leak. I started having contractions that were 4 minutes apart. They wanted just to keep an eye on me for the night. The next morning I woke up and woohoo! Yay, amniotic fluid! Ah! That's enough. I was 31 weeks pregnant. They put me on 3 weeks of hospital bed rest, induced me at 34 weeks. When I was getting ready for induction, that sounds really deep. Induction. Ah! Oh, my baby is crying. No, everything's fine. Mama's good. I had heard so many different things about Pitocin labor versus just like a labor without Pitocin. I heard so many terrible things about getting Pitocin that I was like, okay, great, I'm scared. And because I was going to go into labor early, I really hadn't had any time to work on any breathing techniques, learn any breathing techniques, learn anything about how to handle labor. So the hospital actually gave me some materials to look at for breathing, breathing exercises and things to use during the labor. But something that really helped me was going on YouTube and hearing other moms' stories about their birthing experience. I watched a few videos on women who experienced Pitocin and women who just did it naturally without any drugs, because that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to get an epidural if I could help it. Since it was so helpful to me, I thought it would be really cool to make a video of my own talking about my experience going through an induced labor with Pitocin. So, first things first. What's Pitocin? Pitocin is an artificial version of oxytocin, a hormone that your body naturally produces to give you the contractions, to make your uterus go boom, 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 boom. Exactly. The night before I was getting induced, they gave me what they call a balloon catheter.
It was fun.
And what that was supposed to do was ripen my cervix so that the next day, when they induced me, I was a little bit dilated. The next morning, I was 3.5 centimeters dilated. Yay, progress! Top 3 things that helped me during labor. Number 1, learn how to breathe. Find some good breathing techniques that are gonna really help you, and keep those in your back pocket for when you start having contractions, and use them. Focus. That is your pinpoint. That is your focus. You're breathing. Breathe. 2, don't fight the contraction. Just let it happen. It's gonna happen. Okay, girl? Just let it happen. And this is what I mean. Some women find it helpful to find like a spot on the wall or a picture to look at when they're having a contraction to find a focal point. But for me, closing my eyes and just focusing on the breathing was really helpful. So what I did was I would close my eyes. My husband would remind me and help me to keep my body relaxed during the contraction so that I wasn't fighting the contraction. I would breathe in, and then when I would breathe out, I would actually picture the baby moving further and further down. If you don't fight the contraction, you're actually helping the baby move further down. So do everything you can to help that kid go down south for the winter. Okay. 3, let gravity help you. Don't stay laying down the whole time. Like, you definitely want to rest in the beginning because you're going to be doing a lot of work later, especially if you're not going to get drugs or an epidural or anything like that. So what I did in the beginning was I laid down, I rested, I relaxed, and then when the contractions started to pick up, I would get into positions where gravity was helping. I would stand up, I would walk around, I would sit on the birthing ball. Like, the birthing ball was so helpful. And then towards the end of the labor, when I was about 7 or 8 centimeters dilated, I was like full on hands and knees on the bed, screaming bloody murder into a pillow. Scratch that. It's gonna be fine. It's fun. It's totally worth it. It's totally worth it. Just let gravity help you. Be in a position where the baby can move down. Laying down is not the optimal position to help getting the baby moving down south. Okay, ladies? Bonus point! Something my sister Grace told me when I was on bed rest. She gave me this advice. She knew that I wanted to go through labor without any drugs, without any epidural or anything like that. She told me, Becky, when you feel like you can't do it anymore, you're there. Right as I hit 9 centimeters, I was thinking about the drugs.
Drugs sound so good right now.
But the nurse told me, we can give you whatever you want, but you need to be able to sit still. Not gonna happen. Like, you see what's happening right now? I'm not gonna sit still. Bah, Felicia. I started to feel like I needed to push. It's just like, for some women, for all women, it feels like you're gonna have a bowel movement. But ladies, you're not going to have a bowel movement. Well, you might. And you might. I peed on one of the nurses, but that's another story. My husband saw everything. That's great. They had to bring me into an OR because my daughter was going to be 34 weeks and she was going to be 6 weeks premature. I need to be in an OR so that they could just take her and bring her into another room to work on her if they needed to see if she needed any breathing assistance. I pushed for 30 minutes. That was my situation. That's not the situation for every woman. And they can't even guarantee you that you're going to have a quick labor or that you're going to dilate quickly when you do get Pitocin. I was in labor for 8.5 hours before I started pushing, and then I only pushed for a half an hour. I really wouldn't know whether or not a Pitocin labor is any worse than a labor you have without any Pitocin, because I've only had one baby. So I really couldn't tell you what's worse, but most moms say that going into labor with Pitocin is worse, and it's because it's forcing your body into something that your body should be doing on its own naturally. Ideally, going into labor and being in labor on your own it's probably a lot easier because you're not being shocked into all of these contractions. Your body's able to just gradually get there on its own, and you're less likely to have a bad tear if you do go into labor naturally. I did my labor without any drugs, without an epidural. Honestly, it was just my preference. I had been on bed rest for 3 weeks, and I had already been poked with needles and been on an IV that had to be changed every 3 days. So I was constantly being poked. I was constantly given antibiotics, and I was given some narcotics and things like that to help knock out contractions. And I was just so done with any more anything else they had to offer me. I was over it. I was like, no, let me just push this kid out, just get it done. If you decide to get an epidural or take the drugs, it does not make you any weaker. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. That was just my preference. And if you prefer as a mom to get the epidural or to get some drugs to help ease the pain, that's completely fine, and it's totally your preference. Seriously, drugs or no drugs, you're pushing a human out of your down south. You're a hero. And honestly, don't just listen to my story. Go and find other people's stories, listen to their experiences, but also remember that that's somebody else's experience. It doesn't guarantee that you're gonna have that experience. You're gonna have your own experience, and it's gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna be challenging, but it's gonna be the most rewarding thing that you're gonna ever experience in your whole life. I love being a mom. It was really hard because my daughter had to be in the NICU for a week afterward. If you're a mom that you're getting induced early because you have to be on bed rest or you're gone into preterm labor and your baby has to be in the NICU, honestly, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really, really hard seeing your baby there. It's gonna be a challenge, but you can do it. Stay strong. Know that your baby is in the best hands possible when they're in the NICU. Those nurses and those doctors are trained and they take their job very seriously to help keep your baby healthy and safe and alive. Be strong, mamas. I know what you're going through. Final note, postpartum, the baby blues. If no one has talked to you about the baby blues, get some info on it because that stuff is real. No one told me about postpartum depression. No one talked to me about the baby blues except for the day that I was discharged out of the hospital. And I got hit with the baby blues so hard. It was really, really hard for me to function. Thank God for my husband. He's been a great partner. Make sure you and your partner are educated on the possibility of postpartum depression or even just the baby blues. And let your partner help you during that time, because it can be really, really challenging, but just be encouraged in knowing that it doesn't last forever. It's just your hormones. They're wild and they're raging again. It's like 20 times worse than puberty. You will come to a place where you will be fine. You'll be okay. Just surround yourself with encouraging people. Surround yourself, have a good support system. Let your partner help you. Let your family and your friends come around you and support you and help you. I know your baby's new and you're going to want to take care of them and you want to hug them and you're going to want to be the person that cares for them the most. But there might be days when you just need some help and you just need somebody to come and hold your baby and feed your baby and show them love while you take a nap. That's okay. Don't be afraid to get help from people, especially during that time. Thanks for listening to my rant. Quick announcement before I sign off. This is just a very small part of my journey to becoming a mom. I've actually decided to team up with MattedPictures to do a documentary just kind of explaining my journey to becoming a mom, things that I've been through, things that I've struggled with, questions that I've had, and my journey to getting where I am today. So that will be coming out soon enough, within a couple months, and I hope you'll come back to my channel and to just kind of share in the journey that I've been on. Not just over the past year, but over the past 5 years of my life. So, thanks for coming to my channel, you guys, and I hope you liked this video. I hope this was helpful to you. If you're an expecting mom, or a new mom and you have questions, or if you're a mom that has a baby in the NICU and you have any questions, please like this video and leave a comment down below and I will try and answer as many questions as I can. Thanks, guys. You is the bomb diggity. Appreciate you. I love you guys. Hallelujah, holla back.